get some water. I completely agree with Nerdy, you know. And I don't like the sound like I don't know how to explain it. That just some people just don't have the intellectual capabilities or the high enough IQ to become financially free or like involve themselves strategically in this space or in investing in general. Like that's just the honest truth. Some people choose to be ignorant. Some people are just naturally ignorant. I'm not talking crap about anybody. It's just that's the freaking truth. The people that you come across on the X space have such a low IQ in the crypto space. Not everybody, but a lot of people. And they just talk out of their ass. They just say stuff. And it's like, bro, if you just read a document, if you just take the time to put in the elbow grease and just read some things, like you will really come to educate yourself in the space. And it's not hard.
Yeah.
So
That's what we were talking about yesterday while I was on a run and you and I were chatting there. And I said, I guarantee you a lot of these influencers out there find these amazing documents and read nothing from it and have no idea what's going on.
Yep.
And in regards to DeFi, like there's so many ways to mitigate your risk. Like just read the white paper, find out who the team is, chat with the team, find out if they have an audit schedule, find out who their third party auditing company. Like there's so much to do. And then to ask a question like you were saying, that guy threw out on the thread there, did they take over your keys? It's like, where did you get this from? Like, did you see this somewhere?
You know, people just they mind boggle me, and I'm happy that we're gonna have that portion of the Wealth 28 Club where it's like people are really starting to see in the community that we are actively actually building profitable DeFi strategies, building a portfolio. But in order to do that, just like in crypto or in trading or investing in general, you have to have a strategical approach. You can't just come into this game and think that you're just going to put money onto an application and become rich overnight. Yes, it's happened. Yes, it's happened. Don't get me wrong. But for it to statistically happen to you, it's not very likely. But people, because of this lottery fixed mindset, come into this game with that approach. And then so they see something like DeFi and individuals here sitting on this call making money from DeFi, and they're like, oh, it's a scam. Then they find all these excuses to shy away from it, when in reality it's just lack of education on their behalf. It's fear on their behalf. They're acting off of fear-based emotions, right? And they're lacking inability to have confidence within themselves to build a strategy, and it's disappointing. So anyways, that's what I'm going to touch on today. I don't know what you guys are going to bring to the table, but I know Mr. Man's got some stuff to share.
What's good, y'all?
Go ahead, Nerdy.
I just wanted to add something real quick. I was just reading the latest Nacho report that just came out like on 1 hour ago. So I'll just read you a little few tips that comes from this. Okay, so they had okay, so this one is from NEACH. They had a paper, a meeting in February, and they were talking about instant cross-border payments, the last frontier. Digital dollars, can tokenization improve payment infrastructure? And then Duro, from the CEO of Duro, he was talking about how Europe is setting the pace at which money moves. Was a dynamic trivia style during the topic of PSD2. So if people don't know what PSD2 is and how we're moving to PSD3 and PSD4, that's open banking. That's all that's what that means. Open banking and variable recurring payments of VRPS were discussed. Project Nexus was discussed. IPS operators like standards like ISO 222 were discussed, right? And this is the and on that paper of digital dollars, on that paper it says with the digital presence of e-commerce expanding in an environment like a metaverse, with an expected 5 trillion in value creation by 2030.
Nerdy, check this. I just sent
you
something on YouTube. Excuse me. I just sent you something on X in the DMs.
Got it.
When we get to this point of the call today, I want you to play it. I don't know. Maybe I can play it, but I know you know how to use your audio. For some reason, when I play videos on my end, it doesn't get the audio. But bro, just to capitalize on what you're saying, Jeremy Allaire in token 249, which took place, I don't know, a couple months ago or a couple weeks ago. It's recent, right? It's fresh.
Yeah.
I was watching a video today. I just sent it to you, bro. It's got 400 views. You know,
Yeah.
nobody's paying attention to this stuff. But he goes on to talk about two different things. He goes on to talk about the new internet that is being built. Okay. And he talks through it, what it is and how much money is actually about to come on chain and turn from, you know, the old traditional system to the new one digitally. That's going to be an interesting video to cap on what you're just saying. But what I really like, and this is the stuff that me and Mr. Man and you and Aqua and all these other really talented researchers are focused on, is that in previous market cycles, what people don't understand is the actual infrastructure layer in order to actually handle large institutional liquidity was not ready.
Yep.
Okay. And that is all completely changed. That is all completely freaking changed. And so we are on the forefront. And again, I'm not being a bullish moonboy hype man, because this is still going to take time. I'm very realistic with this. But he explains in detail what that infrastructure layer looks like. And so people that are so freaking mentally mind boggled as to why these $100 XRP price predictions are taking so long, when you listen to what Jeremy Allaire says, you will understand how much is actually happening behind the scenes that you as a manual retail investor don't see. And what this allows you to do is it gives you much more realistic price predictions and analysis, because you actually see physically why this is all taking so long. To you, zoomed out, you know, 10, 20 years for a technological revolution to happen is not a long time. But to most people, retail traders in the now, it seems like such a long time, because we live this price fluctuations day to day and the motions of the market. Me and Mr. Aquaman were talking about this before the call, where Mr. Aquaman was like, bro, have you noticed that a lot of people in the XRP community are like, they're falling off? Like people are, it's the people that used to talk about XRP the way that they did, they're not doing it anymore. And these other native utility driven assets. And it's because they're getting impatient, because they're attaching emotions to their investments. They're not understanding what's really happening behind the scenes. Anyways,
I'm actually got more bullish over time. Like the stuff that Mr. Man posts, I'll go through it and he'll post a link of the document and I'll go read through it, and like I'll get something different than what he posted. I'm like, whoa. You know, this is amazing. I was just watching an interview yesterday with T-Mobile, is the T-Mobile Summit, and they're talking about the shipping industry, and they're talking about how they're trying to create a commercial mobile network for the shipping industry, where because of the SDG goals or whatever, they're trying to make maritime to the point where a ship comes in, it's already being geo-fenced, it knows where it's coming in, documents are being transacted, everything that needs to happen is being transacted while the ship is passing through, and then boom, the ship is gone. So the whole maritime industry is about to change. So people think that a financial revolution is going to make us all rich overnight and blah blah blah. It's an infrastructure. What we're going through is an infrastructure change. They also mentioned about how the internet is changing, how the internet went from just sending the packets of data from A to B to actually sent for actually being used for applications. So APIs are taking over. So APIs are the new thing, right? So Postman was one of them. Twitter uses Postman, X, whatever you want to call it. They use Postman. So they use APIs. So we're going to an API-driven economy, and people don't understand that. Go ahead, man. I know you want to say something.
Well, it's just the sad part is that you're absolutely right. Most people in the traditional financial system lack financial literacy and education. And so it's not really, it is people's fault if they choose ignorance, but the school systems from a young age all across the globe don't really teach finances, because they don't want you to get involved. They don't want you to be financially literate, because then obviously, of course, a lot more people would be walking around financially stable and their system wouldn't work. But that's besides the point. Right now, you know, we have these individuals that come into the crypto space and are trolling around on Twitter, and they themselves aren't even doing the due diligence to really understand what they are involving themselves with. Yes, I get it. Price appreciation is phenomenal and everybody wants to make money, but it's so much bigger than that. The opportunity right now that we have at our fingertips isn't just about buying some physical digital, or not physical digital, a digital asset and holding it. Like, that's not what this is about. Who gives a honest to God, like, I know that this sounds crazy and a lot of people aren't going to like hearing this, but who gives a fudge about that part? That part's great. That part is cool. But the technological innovation that is happening right now, if that in itself doesn't interest you to want to get involved more than just buying on an app, and holding long term, you don't understand what's happening. True to God. Like it's crazy. Not every, go ahead.
So, yeah, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Aquaman and I were chatting about this yesterday, and there's a lot of individuals in the space that are honestly, they are speculators in this. And I mean, you've come this far as a speculator already by doing your due diligence. Why stop what you're doing? If you're in this space now, based off of the old paradigm, buying Bitcoin, holding Bitcoin, hoping to God, praying that it appreciates, you're a speculator and you've learned nothing in this market. I attribute that to real estate, because if you are buying real estate, hoping and praying on your knees that I hope the value goes up, so when I sell it, I've made money, you're a speculator, and more than likely you will get your butt handed to you. But if you can tap into that property and squeeze out as much as you can squeeze out, turn it into an Airbnb and flip it and get some daily money, turn it into a long-term rental, get some money out of that. The name of cash flow, not just hoping and praying that it goes up in 5 to 20 years and you can sell it at that point. Because if you don't understand the cycles now, the likelihood of you understanding it then is slim to none at that point still. So if you're buying crypto assets, and as Aquaman says, and they're just sitting in your cold wallet collecting digital dust, like, you still haven't learned anything. You're a speculator. You're learning some things, so continue that education to learn and go forward. I was looking into Project Victoria, which is the EHKD with HKMA, Food Bond Bank, Visa, MasterCard, and a few other Standard Trust and a few other companies, Hex Trust as well. And one of the things they're looking into right now, and this is the big thing going on, is DeFi. DeFi is everything. Hex Trust has a partnership with Ripple. Hex Trust is the custodian. Hex Trust also has a partnership with MetaMask, which on the institutional side of things, so there's an institutional MetaMask, which allows for offline payments and secure CBDCs moving in and out of that. So that's the reason why you see cryptocurrencies infrastructure not moving yet, because they're still doing proof of concept for certain things. But now with wallets entering in and offline wallets entering into this phase, now we're moving into a place where you have more DeFi stepping in now. Every time that money moves and you're paying a fees, these high net worth individuals don't just want to pay fees and not get something from it. They're going to take that hop, pay a fee, and make money while their money's parked there. That's the paradigm that we're shifting into.
Thank you, bro.
Where money makes money, and your money is making you money. So then you have a daisy chain moving back to you.
It's crazy. The things that you're saying right now, like, people can go and watch the video that I posted yesterday. Since you were talking about DeFi, let's transition. And I want to kind of roll into this, is building a DeFi strategy and how do we actually navigate in this and transition our mindset, because DeFi is such a new niche, lightly, it's still part of the Web3 ecosystem. But again, you have different niches in this Web3 ecosystem, in this digital infrastructure. You have digital identity, you have artificial intelligence, you have data analytics, you have DeFi, and then so like people on the outside coming into crypto that are just utility asset investors. Well, utility asset investors coming from payment assets like XLM, XRP, so on and so forth, trade facilitation assets like XTC, and so on and so forth. Like, people don't understand that there are other niches outside of those things as well. And so it's like, when they come into a space like DeFi, it's like, it's just another niche that if you don't study it, just the same way that you did XRP, the same way that you did XLM, you will be fearful of it. You will shy away from it. You will call it a scam, just like the most individuals in, for example, the Bitcoin community call XRP a scam. But that's because the vast amount of Bitcoin enthusiasts and maximalists are never going to go read a BIS document. They're never going to go read a MF document. You get what I'm saying? So they're not tapped into the information. They speculate from the outside instead of looking within the inside and enlightening themselves. And so, I don't know, DeFi, you really have to look as to what's coming. And to capitalize on what you said, these financial institutions understand that the old traditional system and way of growing yield on their capital is dead. It's not enough. And they're going to transition to fuel liquidity to this new system so they can all be earning higher yields, higher APRs, higher APYs, and their capital can grow as well. These financial institutions, you have to understand, are profit driven. And so if they can see a profitable business layout from the technology that they can implement, and they can mitigate risk, and they can appeal it to their clients, they're coming. Like, and if you can't understand that business model and what that means on a global scale, because it's not just the United States, it's not just Canada, it's not just Mexico, it's not just whatever jurisdiction you're from, it's the globe. Okay.
Yeah. I want to touch on what you just said about the whole Bitcoin stuff. There's two things I want to touch on: the Bitcoin stuff, and then what Mr. Mann said about the DeFi thing. First, the Bitcoin thing is that a lot of people in that are maxis, they have this ideal where everything this should be open. We should just live in an open transaction world, which is not. That's not real. That's out of reality. That's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
No, Goldman Sachs is not going to say, "Hey, look at my transactions." Nor is JP Morgan, nor is any other bank, nor is any other country going to do that. That's just ridiculous, right? Second thing is that to go up on the DeFi part, what Mr. Mann was talking about is we are the bank now. When there is loans being given, DeFi loans that we're talking about, that you put into a pool and you're giving out loans just like Flare loans and all this other stuff that your options that you have today, you are getting a percentage back for presenting that loan. Think about that for a minute. I know that it's a foreign concept to everybody because no one really grasps that that's a real thing. But we are the bank as a collective. Globally, people are putting money into a pool. People are taking out loans. There's a smart contract that is made. After the contract is met, people get a percentage back and everything is settled. That's it. There's no middleman involved. It's all contract.
Yeah. And that's what people, I mean, people don't really understand that they could borrow against their assets right now. Like Metal X, you could borrow against your XRP right now, less than 0.5% APR that you'd have to pay back to get your, to pay your back your XRP and get it back out. Right. I mean, it's incredible on what you can do right now when you have the knowledge and you have the awareness to maximize your assets and get them working for you. You can push them through so many different yields before you finally touch it. It's really up to you. The DeFi space is infinite. There's infinite amount of things that you can do in this space. Like the way I'm going to run businesses in the future, I'm going to be leveraging DeFi. Like so many startup businesses fail because they don't have income coming in, right? Well, guess what? You could take that startup money, deploy it into DeFi correctly. Now you have money coming into that business to pay your salary, pay whatever you need to pay as you're scaling your business and ramping it up, right? And then if you don't make money in 5 years, okay, well, let's walk away. It's not working, but you never lost your capital. Now you could take that and move on to the next business idea. Like this is really, really incredible, people. I really encourage everyone to really understand what we're saying, like really understand what we're saying, because what we're giving y'all is gems right now. This is gems.
And to tap into what you're saying there, Aquaman, a lot of people, including myself, when I first jumped into DeFi, had hesitations or fears or roadblocks and hurdles, things that stopped you. And for myself, coming from a regulated industry, those were the things that had stopped me. But for me to even be in this crypto space, I had to let go of those fears, but tap into what I had learned while I'm in the industry and see who are the players that are regulatory compliant within framework that doesn't necessarily exist, but are compliant to and adhere to a body that hasn't dropped down regulations yet, but are ready to deploy regulations and adhere to those when regulation exists. So for instance, there's some questions that could be asked or should be asked before you jump into a protocol, a platform, a pair, whatever have you. Like, who is the company? Who's the CEO? How long have they been operating for? Do they have treasury reserves? Can you see the reserves?
Exactly.
You want to, listen, Mr.
How frequently do they get audited? Are their audits transparent? Like, there's questions you can ask to mitigate your risk, to allow a form of comfort into your life while you're operating on these platforms that are unregulated still, just like XRP and everything else is unregulated. You're just taking it to the next steps and learning to ask those questions and educate yourself to do this, because everything about this space is unregulated. You're just taking it to the next step where you can tap into cash flow now, because the name of the game is cash flow, to keep yourself going and sustained within this game, because it's all just a game.
Straight up.
To get that, tap into that cash flow, milk it for all that you can milk it for.
I love what you're explaining right now, because what I wanted to roll into today and really focus on was like trying and attempting to show people that with what it is that we're providing and the information and the value that each of our platforms brings and how we've come together to, formulate CYPRX and the information that we pump out, we're showing people that we are building strategies. This is not about just downloading an application and buying XRP, then going and sending it to cold storage. Like, if you really want to achieve success in investing or trading or whatever niche you're attempting to be accomplished at, you have to actually care about it and research it deeply. So what Mr. Mann is attempting to explain is risk mitigation and having that in your investing approach. You're not just going to go, hopefully you didn't just go out and buy XRP. You researched it a little bit, created a belief system around it, saw what it is that Ripple was doing and attempting to accomplish and achieve, understood the back end of the lawsuit and how it's either a security or not a security, then making your own assessment based off of how it's viewed in other jurisdictions. For example, the reason why I'm like, okay, this stuff in America is such a scam is because literally every other single jurisdiction calls XRP a currency, right? A digital currency. And so it's like, but you don't understand that unless you actually open some documents and go see what the Bank of England has said and go see what Japan has said and go see what Australia said and all these places. And so what I'm attempting to say is right now, what Mr. Mann was attempting to preach to you guys is the vast majority of individuals that you see on Twitter talking down, which we're going to get into some examples today about DeFi and about growing your wealth and about lending out your digital assets or building out another portfolio in DeFi to expand your wealth in the now while you wait for the next bull market cycle. They're talking like that, not because they are the ones being honest with you. They are talking like that because they don't understand it, because they're fearful of it, because they don't understand how to make and build a strategy, because they've never been profitable in their lives. They probably live in their mom's basement. And you get what I'm saying? Like, those are the people that are not pioneers. Those are the people that are not going to become profitable and survive this transformation. It's not hard to research. It's not hard to, again, like Mr. Mann was saying, yes, this space is unregulated. And that's a big fear that a lot of people have. But it's not hard to go and see what companies are meeting with regulators, what decentralized exchanges are audited, what decentralized exchanges have a log and are transparent on their social media platforms and are active with their community and are actually showing face, and you can actually go out and see who the CEO is, who the team is, who the devs are, and all this research that you can do to mitigate your freaking risk. It's like, holy crap, I can't believe people come into the space and don't think that that's a possibility. How do you think banks and financial institutions survive? How do you think go ahead.
To take that even further now too, if you can have the ability to tap into that and ask those questions, to take that even further and further reduce your risk, tap into a club such as the Wealth 28 Club, because you have individuals such as myself, Aquaman, CYPRX, Nerdy, and we all come from different walks of life, but we all bring certain strengths to it. I'm a regulatory side of thing. You have CYPRX, he's a trader, he understands the market. You have Aquaman, who understands business. You have Nerdy, who understands the documents. We all come from different walks of life, and we have so much to contribute to make this wholesome ecosystem. So that way, we've done the research already. You can jump in knowing that you're confident and competent in the group that you're surrounded by, because your net worth is your network.
Exactly. To add on that of documents and research, this is just released from the Nacha Payment Alliance. Okay, these are the members of the Nacha Payment Alliance, and tell me if you hear a common denominator between these companies. Okay, ACI Worldwide, BNY Mellon, Dutch Bank Trust, Finastra, IBM, Red Hat, Stronghold, Temenos, Volante. What is the connection between those guys?
It sounds like you're reading Ripple's partnerships off right off the hop, man.
That's exactly, bro. These people are on the National Clearinghouse Association. They're on the board of they're the members of these. If people don't understand that how payments work, they have to go through a clearinghouse. Without your payments going through a clearinghouse, your payment, nothing gets settled, nothing gets posted, nothing gets settled, none of that happens. So during a economic crisis or during a liquidity crisis, right? If let's say a commercial bank fails or something happens, there will eventually be a clearing situation where some kind of reform will be needed, right? So pay attention right now, because when that time comes around and it's too late, all these things that I'm reading to you guys or everyone else is here giving to you is going to be too late. It's going to be 2030 is only in 5 years. That's not that.
Yeah, but bro, the thing is,
far
nerdy.
away.
The thing is, bro, the problem is that normal, every average day citizens that are working their 9 to 5 job, that are speculating on crypto, downloading an application and buying XRP on Uphold and hoping for the best, they don't have a 5-year plan. They're so inclined to focus on the now. And that's another issue, is that we're not strategically taught or brought up to think long term as human beings. Immediate gratification has always been projected in our faces since a young age, right?
That's
you go to
true.
school, you get a grade for you get a right off the bat, you get into kindergarten, go into kindergarten or whatever jurisdiction you're in, the first grade that you go on for school, you turn in paperwork, and immediate gratification comes in the form of a grade. You either get an A or you get an F, right?
Yep.
And and that's installed in us throughout our entire lives, throughout our business careers. When you graduate high school, you go to college, it's the same slave mindset process. Same thing.
Yep.
When you get a job, right? You have to go and you have to appeal to a boss to make a paycheck. Again, it's the instant gratification. You work a certain amount of hours per week, you get a certain paycheck at the end of the week, you go home happy, and you do it all over again. So it's like detaching yourself from that mindset. Again, this is why in the CYPRX community and the Wealth 28 Club in particular, building a DeFi strategy really comes down to your mindset. I was talking to Mr. Aquaman about this a second ago offline, and it's that you cannot argue with me. There are 3 types of people in this space. And especially since we're dialing it down to the DeFi niche, 3 types of people in the DeFi niche as well. There are individuals that are proactive, that are pioneers in this space, that take advantage of opportunities, that have keys, that open doors, that join communities, that further their education, that pay for mentorships, that will freaking spend hours of countless time researching and educating themselves and staying up late nights and sacrificing sleep and changing their bad habits in life to take advantage of the now. Then there are individuals that think that they have the intellectual capabilities of the first person that I just mentioned. They are more risk prone because they think they understand the technology. They download an application, they buy XRP, they watch YouTubers, and they have the asset. They're taking on more risk because they're not really expanding their education. Yes, they're involved, great, but they're not taking advantage of the opportunity to its fullest potential. And then you have the individuals, the third individual, which is the sideline individual. They're skeptical. Maybe they have a little bit of digital assets, but they won't go any further to what they have. They're not doing really any research. They work their 9-to-5 job. They're really laid back and passive about things and skeptical. Oh my gosh, regs aren't in place, I'm going to wait, right? They don't understand what's happening, and that we as manual retail investors, for the first time ever, people listen to me. Because and I've showed you guys this publicly on X. Again, I drop more gems for the CYPRX researchers, but I've shown you all publicly that 2 of the largest asset managers, over $5 billion each of assets under management, have publicly stated in the last 3 months that for the first time in history, retail traders have the opportunity to front run the banks. Okay? I don't know how lightly to put that, but if you don't understand that, then investing and trading and becoming financially wealthy is not for you. Because if you can't understand what I just said, that should alone lead you to take advantage of all the opportunities in this space. Now, again, reverting back to what Mr. Mann said, you can build a risk strategy around that. If you're scared because you don't want to risk money or whatever the case may be, or whatever it is that's holding you back, you can build a strategy around that fear. And you can turn that fear into something that actually benefits you long-term because you're feeding off of it. You're facing fear with taking advantage of knowledge. And through knowledge, you stop becoming fearful.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to recommend someone and something for everyone. If you just brand new to finance and you don't know what's going on and you have no clue what the hell we're talking about, go watch Ray Dalio's Frontrunning. If you watch Ray Dalio's Frontrunning, he explains it so beautifully that whatever we're going through happens all the time. Fiat, this is inevitable with fiat, right? Fiat just goes through cycles. There's always a world power and another world power. You had France, Britain, you have America, and they're saying that the next might be China. We don't know. But during this cycle, there's always money to be made. During the Depression, there were winners and there were losers. There was winners who had assets and there was losers who didn't have anything. Mm-hmm. All this is just cycles. Now, the difference between those cycles and this cycle is the internet, is blockchain. They never had those features before, which we have today. Now, the thing is that blockchain involves you and me, right? Without us, this ecosystem doesn't work. Now, you have an opportunity to be part of something where, again, you are offering loans, you're gaining interest, you're tapping into something that only a banker would, or a accredited investor, or someone of a high level of financial status would be able to participate in. Now, you a normal person, a regular Joe, working at a supermarket, doing your job, working in 9 to 5, have an opportunity to tap into this. Think about that for a little bit, because this opportunity is not going to last for a very long time. 30 trillion or 8 trillion by 2030. That's in 6 years, guys. For
Yeah.
5.5 years, guys. It's going to come like that. It's
And
going to
there's
come
only
like that. Go ahead.
there's only 90, or I think 90, but between 90 to like 100 billion in DeFi right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's it compared to trillions that are going to be coming in.
I
Like,
try to tell people that.
like, and we've been over that before. I know you brought up DeFi Llama on a past call. I mean, like the proof's in the pudding. It's right there. And if you're going to sleep on this, just don't call people like us lucky in the future, because this wasn't luck. This was pure work, putting in the work, waking up 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning every single day, applying yourself because you understand the opportunity at large in front of you. You know what I mean? So many people just like disregard this opportunity, which is mind blowing to me.
It's crazy.
That you can make passive income right now and you're going to blow this off. You're going to be like, nah, that ain't for me. Oh, so what's for you then? Becoming crypto rich and then become immediately afterwards? You know what I'm saying?
I want to get into this, bro. So I'm going to just go through the tabs that I have open real quick, because this is something that myself and Mr. Man and Mr. Aquaman with the Wealth 28 Club have really tried to show people we are actively doing. Again, it's not financial advice. We're here to show you all. We're not here. Okay, I want to say this. I'm not here to convince anybody. I don't care if you come on board. If you do, let's go. I'm here to motivate you. I'm here to show you how I'm doing it. And I'm here to show you how I'm capitalizing on those opportunities. I'm here to educate. Okay. I'm not here to convince you. I provide education and I provide value. If you want to tap into that, just like these gentlemen provide education and value, then it's there for you. And if not, then set it aside and move on with your life. Like, you know, this isn't a game where if you're going to take it lightly, you can't be some sissy lala coming into the space thinking that you're going to make it. You have to be aggressive. You have to be an opportunistic individual, an individual that's ready to take charge, that has a educational backing to drive your confidence. You want to know why I'm so confident in the market? You want to know why Mr. Aquaman is so confident, Mr. Man is so confident? It's because we've done the research, we've done the education, we've put in the foundation to actually turn profit. Now, to some degree, again, that changes for each and every single individual. Camille's on this call. She's an active student member. She has been for 3 years, and she's changed her life with this information, regardless if it's in DeFi, regardless if it's psychological, regardless if it's through research or through her trading career. Something has changed, and that has only been through positive action, backed by education, which then conforms into confidence and strategic planning and investing in growth. And I mean, it's crazy that people are deciding not to take that approach. So I'm going to roll into this question right here. Shout out to Johnny Crypto. I've been on his Good Morning show. He posted this the other day and he said, question. If you have, and the reason why I'm going to go over this is not necessarily for the question and my response, but more so for the comments, because I want to dial into the skepticism around DeFi so that way we can attempt to educate individuals. Again, that is our goal here, the Wealth 28 Club. I know Nerdy is doing his own thing. He's got his podcast and whatnot. He's not a back-end member of the Wealth 28 Club, but he still pumps out valuable content to you all, which is why he's here, okay? Because he's a pioneer of enlightenment in this space. And so Johnny went on to say, if you have $1,000 to invest right now, which crypto or cryptos would you buy? And I commented underneath and talked a little bit about how I would go if I was a brand new individual, because this is something we talk about in the Wealth 28 Club. What would you do if you're starting in DeFi and you want to grow a portfolio? Again, this isn't financial advice. This is what I would do, okay? And you want to scale that portfolio and not use your own capital to buy crypto. Again, building a DeFi strategy. So I said, I would buy HBAR and or XRP and then use that money, those digital assets that I just bought, to provide liquidity on Hedera or XRPL dexes like Saucer Swap or Magnetic to earn passive income as a liquidity provider on that $1,000 of initially deposited capital. Then With that initially deposited capital, that turns into my only risk, because after that, I would turn the profits and the fees or the emissions that I'm earning from that position and re-implement that capital back into more XRP, back into more HBAR. And then at that point in time, it doesn't matter if my portfolio grows to 50,000 or 100,000 or 10,000 or 5,000 or whatever. My initial investment and my initial risk was really only $1,000 of my hard-earned capital. Every other piece of money that I implemented into that portfolio afterwards to build a DeFi position or to build long-term bags, because again, you can separate your positions. Okay, so for example, there's two options you can take. Actually, technically speaking, three. You can pay yourself from the DeFi profits. You can re-snowball those profits back into the liquidity position to earn more APR. Or you can just take the profits and buy XRP and HBAR, again, not financial advice, and you can put that into your cold storage bag. So there's options that you have. It's not just like one thing. There's so many different pieces to building a DeFi strategy. And so what I just said to you guys and what I said to a lot of people publicly flew over people's heads. Okay. What I just showed you all is that you don't have to, if you choose to do so, put money into this market, use your own money. You can use the market's money. People, listen to what I'm saying. Again, it's not financial advice. There is an educational platform out there that teaches you how we are doing this. There are other educational resources out there. How do you think we learned, right? How do you think we learned? We did our research.
Can I add something? Can I add something to that real quick? I want people to look up compounding interest and look at if you were to compound your interest or you didn't compound your interest, how much money you would have made and how much money you would have lost.
Bro, it's nuts.
Look that up.
Okay, so now let's get into some of the because again, the ignorant individuals, the people that I mentioned, okay, you're gonna have these naysayers, these skeptical people underneath, and they have every right to be. Again, ignorance is bliss. And ignorance flows through the veins of the vast majority of individuals. But if you choose not to be ignorant, trust and believe there is light at the end of the tunnel. And these organizations, via these blockchain and distributed ledger technology companies, they are talking to you about this. And the people that hold these digital assets, they don't even see that. For example, in the last 5 hours, the HBAR Foundation, think of how many HBARs out there don't even know about liquid staking or being a liquidity provider or the DeFi ecosystem on the Hedera network. They don't even freaking know. They just hold HBAR and think, oh, it's going to be used for payments worldwide, blah, blah. Like, okay, look at this. Together with Ichi Foundation, Salsa Swap Labs, that's a DEX on the Hedera network, launched auto pools for active liquidity management in the Hedera DeFi ecosystem. The Hedera DeFi ecosystem is like, I don't know, 100 million right now or something. It's going to go to 1 billion TVL locked in the next 2-3 years. Promise you guys that, right? 100%.
Facts.
When we see real world asset tokenization, we see real estate, gold, commodity, like it's going to be gnarly what happens. So anyways, and I'm just showing you guys this because in the last 5 hours, what were they talking about? DeFi. Okay. They're talking about DeFi. This stuff is not unknown. Okay. So anyways, in the video that I posted yesterday, where I physically showed video breakdowns and clips of financial institutions and large asset managers confirming that they are interested in DeFi, I showed David Swartz, who is an XRPL engineer, telling you all at XRP Las Vegas that you could be lending out your XRP and earning more XRP on that XRP. Okay, so you guys have to understand, I'm not making this up. Again, remember, I'm a pioneer. I'm an individual who's looking and seeking to educate, and what you do with that education is on your behalf. This individual, look at his name, XRPL Bots, doesn't even understand the XRPL. Okay, that's the hilarious part. He has XRPL in his name and then goes and says that the post that I made is misleading. He said this information is misleading. There are losses that will occur when one asset in the pool gains or loses significancy, and right before a crypto bull market, it's honestly not the best idea. Yo, listen. This individual, and I don't mean any disrespect, but shut the F up, yo, for real. Check it out, okay? You don't have to risk, and I will say this again, because this is, again, what I'm doing. It is not financial advice. I'm trying to tell you all what I'm doing. Again, what you do with that education is up to your own accord. I have separate portfolios. I have my long-term bag in my cold storage wallets that I will never touch, that I've been holding XRP since 2017. I will never touch those assets. Okay, they're going to sit there. And then I'm also taking advantage of the magnetic DEX and building a DeFi portfolio that is completely separate from my XRP long-term bags that still requires me to buy XRP. Okay, you understand that, right? So they're two separate things. My long-term portfolios are completely a different risk strategy than my DeFi positions. So this individual, okay, saying that this is not a good idea right before a bull market is an idiot, because guess what I said to you guys in the previous post on Johnny Crypto's profile? That guess what I'm doing with my DeFi profits? Building bigger long-term bags. I'm using the money that I'm making from DeFi to buy more long-term blue chip collar crypto assets like XRP with the market's money.
Facts.
I have not put my own money into crypto in almost a year.
Cash
Like,
flow.
100%, bro. And
cash
think
flow.
about it. Think about it like this too. Like everyone that just heard that right now, would you rather lose? Let's just say XRP doesn't do what we all think it's going to do. And we all, let's just say XRP rug pulls the shit out of all of us. Would you rather be that person that spent all your hard-earned money, put it all into XRP and lost, or you were using the market's money to build your bag and then it just didn't work out, but at least it wasn't your hard-earned money? Do you see that, guys? Like that, like you guys have to understand this, that like you can be making the money right now and building your bags, just like Cypress said. Like, let that settle into your minds, all 535 people that are here, because I could go on to the magnetic decks right now and there's only 400 and probably like 70 people that are farming right now. They're XRP. That's it.
Yet this guy, he has XRPL bots in his freaking name, bro. It's crazy.
There's a saying in real estate when it comes to purchasing or knowing and understand real estate, and the acronym is OPM, and that just means other people's money. Because essentially, when I evaluate a property and I want to go make a purchase, I don't want to use my capital. I don't want my capital locked up and tied up, and then I'm stuck without liquidity for whatever I need it for. The goal is to possibly leverage somebody else who doesn't understand real estate, help them get into the industry, because I'm the motivated investor who knows and understands it, and I can help them jump into real estate. So essentially, I'm using their money to help them get into real estate. I earn a profit from being the investor, the person who knows and understands. I'm capitalizing on other people's money. I'm helping them turnover profit. I'm getting cash flow. They're getting cash flow. With DeFi, you're not using your market. You're not using your money. You're using the market's money. You're turning over cash flow. Again, milk it for all that you can. Essentially, should real estate go to 100%? Should crypto go to 100% and you win? Fantastic. Should it go to zero? Whatever. You made your money. Crypto is a type of industry, if you will, that's either 100% or 0%. There's no in between. And I'm banking on whatever way it goes on, I'm making money at least.
Okay, check this out. So yesterday in the video that I posted to you guys on X, again, I always try to deliver you all with the realest freaking value. The stuff I'm telling you all this, I've learned from billionaires and millionaires on my attempt to become a multimillionaire. I've already surpassed that point in my trading and investing career where 6 figures is cool. I'm on my way to multi-7 figures. And so like when I start to listen to multi-billionaires and millionaires, I'm like, dang, they're on some stuff. And look at this, okay? Everything that Mr. Man just said to you all, okay? Look at this video. Yesterday when I shared this video, it had 16 views. So that means myself and the other, let's just say 5 CYPRX researchers were probably the first entrants to watch this gentleman's information. Who is this gentleman? He is the CEO of WisdomTree. WisdomTree has over $100 billion of assets under management, right? Global asset management firm. And he is the one telling you literally everything in the word for word that your money should be working for you. That the vast majority of people have this mindset that they should get an income and save it and do nothing with it. And in reality, where most people fall behind and how they could keep up with inflation and become financially stable is if they learn how to make their assets work for them. And guess what he talks about in this? Look at what it's called. Responsible DeFi, innovation without sacrificing investor protection with Jonathan Steinberg. They were talking about DeFi. He went on to confirm that financial institutions are coming into DeFi and that they are building a regulated DeFi space. And again, the old way of earning yield is dead. These financial institutions now know about DEXs and being liquidity providers and AMMs and all these things, and they want a piece of that. The foundation just has to be laid first. But right now, and again, this gentleman confirms that. I posted it yesterday. He is the one that told everybody. Again, this is from how long ago is this? This is from May 30th, 2024. This is literally a day old, okay? He told everybody that DeFi is coming. It's not going to get regulated out of existence, and that you should be earning capital with your capital, right?
Facts.
Mhm.
It's not me just like, oh, we're CYPRX, we're going to tell everybody this. No, I'm listening. I'm listening to things that people are not listening to, and it's clear. And guess what? I'm here to tell you all right now, it's working for me. And so just like I said, to full circle this, it's working for Mr. Man. It's working for Mr. Aquaman. It's working for other members in our community. We got Camille on this call. She could confirm this. You can see this from other individuals in our community. I'm not here to convince you. I don't care if you're convinced. But if I can educate you and you can benefit from that education on your own accord, take it, run with it, and figure out how to maneuver through this space by being mature, reading documents, watching panel discussions that nobody else is watching. Because I'm telling you all right now, if you choose that route, remember, we talked about the 3 individuals and the types of people that are involved in this market. If you are that first individual, the proactive individual, the opportunistic individual, the person that's not just here to become rich quick and actually builds a strategy, regardless if you're an investor, a trader, or just want to be in entrepreneurship and grow a DeFi business, you, again, through education and building the proper foundation, you can. It just takes elbow grease. It's not a freaking, man, I can't, how much more knowledge? You know, like I'll be dropping gems to people and it just, Mr. Man drops gems to people and it just, Mr. Aquaman, you know, man.
You know what it is, Sype? No one cares, which is sad, right? At the end of the day, the reason why we're here, because we're on a goal, we're on a path, we're on a mission. I don't want to be poor for the rest of my life, nor do I want to be in a situation like that. You know what I mean? I want to have, when I'm in my 40s and 50s, I want to be living my life. I'm not going to be saying, hey, oh, I can't wait till I get my retirement. No, I'm not doing that. Right.
100%, bro. And dude, like, think about it like this too. Like, if you're listening to this call right now in this podcast, and you're not aware of what DeFi really is, and like what David Schwartz says on the Twitter, like if you can't explain something in 60 seconds or less, you don't understand it. I'm here to tell everybody in the XRP army, y'all don't know what DeFi means, man, because I hear you using the word, but you're not understanding what it could do for you right now. So that tells me you do not understand DeFi. There's a whole bunch of people who look smart in this space, are portraying themselves as smart, and they probably are smart in other departments, but there's one thing that is certain, man. There is nobody in this space that understands DeFi like we do, and nobody's talking about it like we are. The only people that are these people that are super connected that we're watching on stage. That YouTube video probably had less than 100 views on it too, I would imagine. And like these are the only people that are really talking about DeFi. And it's not the employees at the bank, the managers of the bank. They have no fucking clue. It's the people behind the CEO, the big head honchos, and you know what I mean, that you don't see behind the scenes. They're all aware of what DeFi is. Eventually, the masses will catch on. Once you start hearing bank tellers and people at the bank talking about this stuff, at that time, it's then gone viral. Right now, we're at the forefront. Like, take advantage of it right now.
Right now. Check this out, bro.
Yeah.
Like, so, okay, so I just want to show people a physical example. Okay, so remember, we're talking about the 3 people. Mr. Aquaman enlighten you all on getting tapped in. This individual right here, just a small example. I got so many student reviews, so many comments on Twitter, both positive and negative, right? So you got this individual who literally has XRP in their name, doesn't understand XRPL, and down talks DeFi with literally XRPL in their name. Okay, makes no sense. Then you have individuals like this, Samuel. DeFi course is great. So I'm assuming that he went out to join the Wealth 28 Club. Great. He's probably learning, because look at the comment. Big difference. Got my bags on the side, just making now a DeFi bag. So he learned the strategy that I just talked to you guys about. Right? Like it's that simple. You see the mindset switch? And all it took was Samuel to step out of his comfort zone and be like, I want to learn more. Now he knows, and now he can benefit from that to whatever degree he's going to benefit or not benefit from that. That is now up to him. But again, through education and transforming the mindset, now he's going to grow to some degree. This was interesting. Mr. Man put this out. He reposted this. Okay. He said, we were all informed about this when Joel Katz, i.e. David Schwartz, had spoken about this about XRP Las Vegas. It seems for some odd reason that myself and other researchers in the CYPRX community are the only people talking about this, by the way. I just thought I'd point that out, because for real, I feel like myself, maybe nerdy a couple times, and Mr. Man are really the only people telling you all that David Schwartz literally said this to everybody at XRP Las Vegas. And if I was in the audience and everybody else, I remember this. I remember seeing this. Everybody was like, oh, clapping on David Schwartz. If I was at XRP Las Vegas, I would have been like, hold on, excuse me, sir. Run that back one more time. Run that back one more time. Did you just tell the whole entire audience that we can all be lending out our XRP and earning and then using those lendings, collectively speaking, on our own accord to buy more XRP? What? Why did nobody ask that?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me, XRP community? Why did nobody stand up and be like, hello? Did y'all just hear what David Schwartz just freaking said?
Bro, it's wild,
it's
dude.
crazy.
Everyone, they must have been turned up on the plane ride there, and they were turned up.
There's just this sentiment behind like XRP being this golden child. Like, we understand that it has, you know, it has use case, it has utility and stuff. But for like, there's a post someone said, oh, XRP is going to be backed by gold and it's going to go up, and oh, it's a bull run, it's going to go up above. That's not how this works. That's not how this works. And like, false information like that spread across the X space or Twitter space, and you see these ridiculous posts like 500-600 likes, and I'm like, oh my god, guys,
dude,
you guys really believe that? This is crazy.
Every post that you see is it's either a comforting post or an uncomforting post for you to hodl or not hodl, because nobody understands DeFi. So everyone speaks to, oh, look at my new video. These are my top 5 meme coins going in before the bull run, right? Or, you know, this is why you should continue to hodl HBAR. Nobody's talking about, hey, you should you know, hodl those and then actually create a DeFi portfolio to where you can start creating passive income, right? Like, what's your number, by the way? How much more income do you need to retire? What's your number? Let's figure this out and let's create a goal, and then let's go after that goal. Like, right now, DeFi, everyone that's listening right now, DeFi is a tool for retirement for everybody listening right now.
Yeah.
Myself, Aquaman both could retire right now from our DeFi bags. I'm just going to throw that out there. I'm making over $4,000 a month in DeFi after having been involved in DeFi for a year now. And it's like, if I really wanted to lower my living expenses and lower my life, you know, my life standards and what it is that I pay monthly for my living, I could retire off $4,000 per month. And I'm saying, and I've made publicly in the Wealth 28 Club how large my portfolio is, and it's not that much money, guys. It's pretty insane what you can capitalize on if you understand what assets you hold. Like, people in the XRP community, if you don't understand the XRPL and DeFi and AMMs and liquidity providing and all these things, decentralized exchanges and what's actually happening behind the scenes, like, you can see this. It's not us. This is a rippled post. The financial landscape is evolving. Boom, right there in the first sentence, they're telling you this. And the XRP ledger is uniquely positioned to lead institutional DeFi. Go look at how much TVL is locked on the XRP ledger right now compared to Ethereum. It's hardly any freaking money. Mr. Aquaman just told you that there are only 460 active farmers providing liquidity for XRP trading pairs. There's 661 people on this call. And if you're one of those individuals and you hold XRP, what?
You're not taking advantage.
Exactly.
Can I just say, I've spoken to a few people now about DeFi, and one of the things or misconceptions that they have is that they need to have a minimum requirement to buy in, and that's, I'm not sure where that concept or ideology came from, but literally, have $100, you can throw $100 into this and capitalize on it now. If you have $10, you can throw $10 in and capitalize on it. The minimum is whatever minimum you can afford, really. And you're not going through an app that we've created at all. These are the apps that are protocols that are put out there by reputable companies itself. So whatever you're capable of affording to get into such a position and play, that's up to you. But just learn what's going on. That's all I can say. That's all I can ask. Learn what's going on. Do not be a secondary position or person in your own life where fear takes the lead and drives you around. Take the lead and let fear sit behind you. Let fear be in the passenger seat, and you drive where fear goes, because you can determine where your emotions go and don't go.
Bro, check this out. The crazy thing is that when you start to realize and understand the DeFi ecosystem, you actually start to realize that they built it in such a way, this new financial landscape, to where people with fractalized like very small amounts of money, very fractal amounts of money can participate. We're at the point with this digital transformation where the traditional financial system was cut off to retail investors because you did have to meet minimum thresholds in the form of capital requirement to enter into a position. For example, like you can't, I'm not going to get into all that detail, but you understand that. Well, decentralized finance allows for financial, what is the term? What is not collusion? What's the word I'm looking for? Financial inclusion, excuse me. Yeah, it allows for financial inclusion on such an enormous scale, a scale that we have never seen before. So that distorted mindset that, oh, I don't have enough money because I only have $100 to get started. That, again, to revert all the way back to what I said at the beginning of this, has been intrinsically implemented into your brain to keep you from becoming financially free. You understand that, right? I hope you do. It's the matrix that we live in, and you have to pull that out of your brain, set it on fire, and completely restructure an approach that will lead you to turning that $100 into 1,000, and that 1,000 into 10,000, and then the snowball effect. And when you understand that and you alleviate yourself of that previous mindset that we've all been led to believe, like Mr. Aquaman said, the possibilities are endless. I don't know what else.
Let me just add on that too. So with my bank, I'm in Canada. I bank with Royal Bank, RBC. I pay $11.99 a month for them just to custody my money. And with that being said, they offer me 0.05%. So it looks like I'm making money to an unsuspecting person, but they're taking money from me while I'm making next to nothing. Even if I throw $10 into DeFi at an APR, X APR, and I bring in 25 cents, I'm not paying anybody to be in this position at all. I've made 25 cents on my own accord. 25 cents is less than you would make being positioned in a bank account attempting to save your money, because you have to pay that bank just to utilize their services. So 25 cents, 30 cents, 5 cents, $8 a day, $5 a day. They sound minuscule, but that's money that you wouldn't have had to begin with.
That's facts.
100%.
Facts.
Can I add on that real quick? Well, real quick, the now the new average medium income for a middle class person is $172,000. I hope you guys understand that, right? That's not a small amount of money. $170,000 for the average Joe, when most people are only making 60 grand a year. Think about that. The middle class is dead. Okay. Secondly, what Cyp said about banking. This goes with Mr. Mann and what Cyp was saying about the banks and onboarding people. We're moving into an economy where before you needed a bank account to even participate in anything that we're talking about. Now you only need this. And every single person across this whole world no longer needs a bank account. All they need is their phone. With this phone, with this device, there could be someone on a village that's farming and doing their own thing, that's earning money because they invested into a DeFi.
Check this out. Check this out. I'm about to blow everybody's mind. I got this dude that's in the CYPRX Wealth 28 Club that is in Africa, okay? And he has family here in the United States. He joined the Wealth 28 Club, told his family members about DeFi, okay? This dude is about to change his whole entire foundation in Africa because, again, obviously, of course, the currency is completely debased up against the United States dollar. Well, he has family in the United States that's making US dollars. And right now, all the passive income that they are making from DeFi, he just told me they're making over $100 extra per week in DeFi passive income. And they're able to send that money from the US to Africa. And bro, he's about to quit his job in Africa just because
that's what's up.
Just because he is now, his family members that are here in the United States are now making only $100 per week extra in DeFi, and they're now in Africa. How that translates on a global scale, because I actually got to experience that situation in the CYPRX community. It made me realize, like, holy crap. Once everybody catches on to this, it is going to explode, bro.
Explode, because you could be anywhere in the world, just like you're saying. This is a brother that joined the club from Africa. We're touching lives in Africa. That $100 to him in Africa, let me tell you,
huge.
It's huge. Yeah, it's life changing, because bro, like my lineage is from Ghana, so I know, bro. I know. I've heard this. I know what consists in Africa, and bro, DeFi is going to change the way Africa looks in the future too, bro. Like Africa is going to be the new vacation point. I don't think it's going to be like you know what I mean? It really is, because there's just so much untouched land and it's super beautiful over there. And they've programmed everyone in America to just make us think that it's like, you know what I mean, disgusting and whatever. Like, but it's the complete opposite. And DeFi, it's gonna help villages, man. Those villages, those people, bro, they need help, bro. And nobody gives a shit over here in the United States, dude.
Everything that you guys are saying has to do with comfort zone, right? That's all it is. It's getting outside your comfort zone, researching, figuring out what the hell are we talking about, and actually going about it. You have two options: join CYPRX Wealth 28, or hey, I'm gonna try to figure out what the hell's going on. It'll be probably better if you join Wealth 28. I mean, you probably have a guided crew helping you, but at the same time, it's like, take advantage of this. This is crazy. Go ahead.
Yo, Cypress.
Yeah, go ahead.
Touch on this real quick, because Nerdy was bringing it up. I put up the comment from Capital Man. He said, where can I learn to do that? So just everyone is clear. He said, I don't have enough money to buy volume that I need. So look, bro, you don't need a certain amount, bro. You can start with $1. And joining Club 28, we've got a curated way of understanding DeFi. We've already done a ton of thousands of hours of work that we put into Club 28, so you can get in to the club and easily understand DeFi. If you're on this call right now and like a lot of the stuff's kind of going over your head, that's fine. Just keep pushing through that, and all these words will start making sense the more you push yourself. Just everyone keep in mind, man, I just got into crypto a year and a half ago. Granted, I have a brain that just works different than most, but look, if I can do it and I can learn this quickly, and when I came in, I would hear words like DeFi, impermanent loss, and all these big words. And I was like, bro, what the hell am I listening to right now? Eventually, it will make sense. And bro, Club 28, what we put together, you'll easily make sense of all of DeFi. Like
I'd be surprised if the committed members, and I don't want to sit here and brag or boast, because that's not the point of this. Again, we're not trying to convince you. We're trying to educate you, and we're going to continue with the educational piece after we, present some inside information a little bit. But bro, I have a whole folder right now on my computer that says student reviews, and I've had over 10 people message me and said, hey, I've already paid back for my monthly membership. That's crazy. That's crazy. To what degree they capitalize on that, whether that's through utility assets or other pools, liquidity dexes, staking, so on and so forth, whatever route they take, great. But the fact that DeFi, again, using the market's money after a small initial investment and doing your due diligence and risk cater, it's crazy that if you choose not to take advantage of this, like, I'm just going to be completely honest, and so I want to get into the risk mitigation thing, because we always need to cover risk. We always need to talk about the obvious, of course, the cons. One of the cons, the two things that I get the most are, you're going to experience impermanent loss. Okay, great. I understand the fear about that. And I understand, obviously, of course, the fear of loss of income and money and all these things. I get that. But there are ways, which I'll talk about in just one second, that you can mitigate impermanent loss. Again, reverting back to the beginning of this call, by building a DeFi strategy. And you would have never known that if you were from the outside on Twitter or YouTube, and you were like, oh, I'm going to get interested in DeFi. And then some naysayer, some freaking troll comes along and scares you because you read their comment that says, oh, I lost $10,000 due to impermanent loss. That's because they're a freaking idiot and they don't know how to mitigate risk. Okay.
Facts.
In the Wealth 28 Club, I talk about how I have taken measures and will continue to take measures to mitigate against my impermanent loss by understanding different opportunities that are available in the DeFi space. And I'll get into those in just 1 second for you listeners. But then the next thing that I get most common, so the first thing I get most common is, oh, impermanent loss, right? I freaking hate that word because so many people don't understand it. When you understand it, you stop fearing it.
Facts.
The second thing I get is, and here's a live example. Okay, me and Mr. Man were involved in this conversation on Twitter. Is I get the, oh, well, if you're providing liquidity to a DEX, then you're giving up your private keys. Bro, what are you talking about? Come on now. Okay, so check this one. Under the comment on the RippleX post where they go on to talk about how institutions are coming into DeFi, an individual goes on to say, oh, you risk losing all your assets, which if you're in crypto, that's already one of the risks. So I don't even know why that was mentioned. But Mr. Man goes on to say, There are ways to mitigate risk. Again, we're not here to convince you. We're here to show you education, an educational route that mitigates risk. Risk is always present and inherent. It doesn't matter what you attempt to do in life. You walk outside of your house, there's risk involved. Okay, get over that. So he goes on to talk about some different options. And then the individual says, giving up your keys is a big risk. So, being the researchers that we are, I reached out to the XRPL magnetic DEX, right? And asked them for an interview. But because I knew we were going to have this call on Friday, I asked them to respond to the interview questions promptly through text so I could read them to you guys on this call. And here you can say, or you can see, I said in the magnetic XRPL DEX, again, if you don't know what that is, we talk about this and how we're involved earning XRP, earning MAG, being liquidity providers on the XRPL. We've talked about this before. David Schwartz mentioned it. Again, this isn't new. If it's new to you, tap in, join a community like-minded like ours, where it fast tracks you through the DeFi lane, or go out and do the research yourself. It's up to you. Again, we're here to enlighten you. Okay. So I asked them the question. A lot of XRP enthusiasts think that providing liquidity to a DEX requires you to give up access to your private keys. Please explain if this is true or not, and what you would say to the skeptics. They responded simply back. Again, we're going to try and have an interview with them physically. They said, it's not true. No one ever has access to your private keys when providing liquidity in AMMS. You receive liquidity pool tokens, which can be exchanged for your share of assets in the AMM pool at any one time. No one but you can take your funds, obviously, of course, unless there's a bug in the smart contract, which is another risk. But again, you're providing liquidity to the XRPL. So if you are an XRP holder, you would then have to assume that there is a bug in the XRPL that is going to attack the XRPL, the XRP locked on that. You get what I'm saying? Okay. So
yeah, fact.
Like for this person to come out here and say this, again, remember what I just said, people that don't know about DeFi from the outside looking in will read this. And then this one post will turn thousands of people away from DeFi. And only one of you listening out of the 762 people will be like, you know what? I'm not going to be fearful. I'm going to do research and reach out to these DEXs and ask questions and do my due diligence, so I can further my process of becoming wealthy in the space and not just stopping in the fear of ignorance and fear. You get what I'm saying? Okay. So the reason why I'm showing you this is, again, because yes, there's risk involved, but you can build and create a risk mitigation strategy and survive, right? It's not hard. Many people before you have done it. We're showing you actively here how in the community, and I was going to show you guys today, but I decided not to. How I've built a six-figure portfolio. The private community members know that I have a multi-six-figure crypto portfolio. They also know, and I showed you guys this publicly on YouTube and Twitter a couple of weeks ago. I started my DeFi portfolio with $10,000, and it's on its way to 50 grand right now. Again, nice. You know, and all of that's being actively recorded. I'm telling my community and the people that are in the Wealth 28 Club membership what pools I'm in, how much percentage in APR, and when I change my positions, where I'm moving that to. So they actually get to see that real time. They get to see somebody take advantage of these opportunities. And I mean, I just don't understand, you know, it's really crazy that people decide to choose ignorance like this instead of just simply tapping into the potential that we have on the internet, the new internet financial system that's happening.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And the tools that we're giving you too when you come into Club 28, man. I mean, we're giving you the Excel spreadsheets too, so you can keep yourself organized. Like, I mean, I don't know how many of you guys are Excel masters out there, but, you know, we put that together for you as well. I mean, this is, you know, I feel like this is God's work right here, because this is going to change so many people's lives. The fact that we were able to change this family's life in Africa, this is God's work right here, dude. This is God's work. I'm going to test all this to God now. I just realized this on this call too right now, that the reason why our calling, all of us is here. We're here to help, man. We're really here to help. We're not here to sell you guys anything. Like, don't take us, you know, getting excited. We're excited because we had the awakening within the awakening. All y'all had the awakening to crypto, bro, but wait till you wake up to like DeFi. Like, that's why we're excited. And then we understand that nobody knows this stuff too. So that's why all of us have so much enthusiasm when we're so excited. Don't take it as like, oh, we're trying to sell you. Nah, like we're speaking facts. We ain't capping up here. Everything that we're saying is real. Like I would love to hear somebody try to pull our card on anything that we've said today so far. I mean,
Yo, look, this is funny. Just to capitalize on what you're saying, bro. One of the CYPRX researchers this morning in the official research team chat was like, "Yo," because he just like he's in college, he's in Australia, and he's kind of like starting to just now get into DeFi, and he's like, "Yo, I just made my first money on DeFi. This is crazy." So like what Mr. Aquaman was telling you guys about is like you're in crypto, right? Okay, great, you get it. You're in utility. You understand the new financial system. You understand the old fiat system is dead, but you still feel, I know everybody feels it. It's like, yeah, okay, but waiting for these assets, for example, XRP to hit $1,000, that's just not right. Like I can't just be sitting here doing nothing. If you're that type of person, I'm telling you, you have the ability to awaken, unlocking other opportunities, and they're there. And
they're
so
there.
this is a perfect example. One of, he was like, oh, this is legit. Look, first of all, let me explain the background. This is probably our best CYPRX researcher, and he just had an awakening in DeFi. He literally said right here, it's legit a new learning curve, right? I mean, you have to go through the process, and if you don't want to do that, then again, shut yourself off and be fearful. That's okay. We're not here to convince you. I could care less. But the individuals that are willing and motivated, man, let me tell you what, the individual pioneers that you see on this call right now, the individuals that are on the opposite side of the screen listening in, that take advantage of the opportunity. And again, remember, regardless if you join Wealth 28 Club or not, I don't like promoting my own product. If you want it, it's there. But just get off this call and just go Google research DeFi. Go look at HBAR Foundation's last 10 posts. Like you can literally go look at HBAR Foundation. If you hold HBAR, okay, I'm not making this up. Go to the HBAR Foundation Twitter and just go over the last 10 posts that they made. The last 10 posts that they made, over 5 of them had to do something about DeFi, whether that's Saucer Swap, Stater Labs, partnerships and connections that they've made over the past consecutive couple of days. It's all been DeFi. Okay. So
that means they're pushing DeFi. That's not just from HBAR. This is coming from, I mean, look at David Schwartz. He was at XRP Las Vegas. He was speaking directly to y'all about DeFi. So this is like you guys all hearing this now, like honestly, if your favorite influencer is not talking about DeFi right now the way we are, you should probably kind of not tap into that person as much, because you're missing an opportunity right now. And regardless if you go through us or you go do your own research, go do the research, because you could change your family's life right now through the power of DeFi. Like that, I give that kid in Africa credit, because he had the willpower to do it. You know what I mean? And like most of the people in America are not. That's crazy as shit to me. Yep. All this fear, but my man over in Africa, he said, "Nah, I'm gonna take a risk on this." And then look, boom, man.
I said this to dang, I don't remember who I was talking to. I think it was 68J. I think it was 68J I was talking to about this on his podcast. And I was talking about how there's a new wave of, I hate this term, but crypto influencers, right? YouTubers and influencers. And 4 of us and many others, like Citizens of the Future, he's one phenomenal researcher, right? There's a couple other more. Sorry, I'm not naming them off the top of my head, but you guys know who I'm talking about, right? In the research game. And we are the new wave of individuals from the first wave of YouTubers and Twitter enthusiasts. And the first wave of YouTube, Twitter enthusiasts and XRP community members and all this, they distorted the mindset of the mass amount of XRP holders, because the first, let's just say from 2020 up until now, right, especially during the lawsuit, constantly decided to pump out content about how XRP was going to hit the significantly high price without actually understanding things like the TVL locked on the XRPL, or the DeFi ecosystem, or what is actually outside of institutional adoption going to drive demand for the digital asset XRP. They never talked to you guys about that. And so now that we have this new niche that was, pretty much babied upon in 2021, DeFi, it seems so skeptical, because you've been led to believe this entire lawsuit and this entire time that your XRP is going to be worth $1,000, $100, $500. And so you have that idea ingrained into your head. At the same time that that idea was ingrained into your head, we had what? A bear market cycle. And you lived through both of those things physically, holding the digital asset, and mentally getting through that emotionally. So now that this new thing is happening, DeFi, tell me if I'm wrong, the vast majority of individuals that you all have talked to are like, I don't want to take my XRP out of cold storage. I don't want to miss the opportunity on life-changing wealth when it hits $1,000. I get that, but again, that is why you learn a strategy. You don't have to touch your long-term bags. We're not telling anybody to go out there and sell all your XRP and dump it into a liquidity pool. No, there's so much more out there in the DeFi space than just XRP.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I want to. Yeah, can I tap on that real quick about more assets than XRP? If you go on, I know a lot of people don't use. Hold on, which app was it again? Leap Wallet. So Leap Wallet is a Cosmos ecosystem.
Ooh, cook, nerdy, cook.
And Cosmos is huge, right? So you have networks like XLR, you have Check, you have a Band protocol, you have so many different protocols. Oasis is another one that offer you those services that we're talking about natively on the app. You can stake right on the app. You can do all those things right on the app, right? Cosmos is huge. Hedera is huge. Stellar is another one. Stellar is another big one. Zenfin is another big one. All these ones are huge DeFi protocols that offer all these services. But everyone is so focused on this Wind Moon. It's like, bro, that's not that's not what it is.
You said XLM, and I know Mr. Aquaman wants to get off his chest what he has to say about XLM and the DEX that he's been operating on and whatnot, because bro, it's pretty gnarly. You know, it's pretty gnarly. While he's about to pull up his stuff and possibly share his screen and whatnot and go over a DEX that he's operating on and whatnot, keep in mind a couple of different things. First, shout out to everybody that's on this call. 819 people listening in. Appreciate you all for coming out on your Friday and taking the time to listen to us again. We're not here to give you guys financial advice. We're here to educate you all on what it is that we're doing in the markets by taking advantage of opportunities in the now. And if you're interested in that, again, CYPRXtrading.com, Wealth 28 Club. We'd love to have you on board. Nerdy, thank you always for coming out. Mr. Aquaman, obviously, of course, and Mr. Man, you know, it's so great to have you all actively coming out to these calls and doing these podcasts, because there's a lot of stuff that needs to get pushed out that's just not. And so it's really great that you guys are here. I appreciate each and every single one of you all. I just wanted to pause real fast and say that. Mr. Aquaman, go ahead. Take it away, bro.
Yes, there. Hold on 1 second. I'm opening up my screen right now so I can share. Hold on 1 second, all right?
There was I think it was called Franklin Templeton.
Franklin Templeton?
Yeah.
Franklin Templeton,
They're huge with Stellar. I don't know if you guys know that or not.
What?
Yeah, man.
No, 100%, bro. I've known that for quite some time.
Yeah.
They're integrated with the Stellar blockchain and everything. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, isn't that like 2020? That's like 2022, beginning of 2023 news.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But there's been some new stuff that's been coming out that's related to it.
So my bad, guys. My computer wants me to leave again. I don't know why. I presented on this before. What I wanted to share with everybody is the Dogstar DEX, which is it runs on XLM Stellar, and right now you could be receiving 100% right now on these liquidity pools. So right now I'm taking advantage. And keep in mind, I've just been testing these pools. So I have 3 pools that I'm in. I'm in XLM and XStar. I'm in Aqua, which is AKA Aquarius, and XStar. And then I'm in Aqua and Fred Energy. Fred Energy also is on in the XLM ecosystem. So these are all projects that run on XLM. But those 3 pools right now, I'm receiving 100% APR as we speak. So right now, I'm earning XLM in this XLM and XStar. I'm earning Aqua in the Aqua XStar, and then I'm earning more Aqua here in the Aqua and Fred pool that I'm in. So, you know, next time I'm going to set up my screen so I can share my screen. But I encourage everybody to go take a look at dogstar.com and just go take a look at the DEX. I mean, it's a beautiful DEX. They got a bunch of things coming soon. I don't want to speak too much on it because I'm just not showing it. I don't want everybody to have to like picture it, but just go take a look for yourself. And I'm going to be making a video on this DEX, probably post it on my YouTube, And I'll probably do something special for the Club 28 members on this DEX as well, that I don't post on the YouTube, and I'll put it in the club. But this DEX is something special. This DEX is something that's going to grow, and it's amazing. So yeah.
Two things I want to say about that, because I don't want anybody to think that we're promoting DEXs, because we're not. Don't go out and get on this DEX just because you heard Mr. Aquaman talk about it. No, the thing is we have Mr. Man. What is Mr. Man really good at? He's good at doing in-depth research. So what we can do in the Wealth 28 Club is, if we have, and just I'll use a live example. The other day, I posted an interesting DEX that was offering a really good APR on a certain pair that I wanted to get involved in. And I sent it to the chat, and Mr. Man pretty much messaged me and was like, hey bro, I found all these things A, B, C, and D about the DEX that I didn't like. And I was like, okay, great. So then I let the community know that yes, I was still looking at this DEX, but it was much more high risk. And so we have the ability again to understand and implement that into our risk assessment, where now the members know, instead of having to go in and do the research themselves, we did that right for them by actually involving ourselves in the live market and let them know, like, hey, if you're going to use this DEX, here are the red flags, A, B, C, and D. Here are the things we like, A, B, C, and D. And now the members can then go and make a decision about that based off of that information and them doing their own according research, right? But you have to understand that so many problems have been fixed in the CYPRX DeFi already, right? Because people have reached out and been like, hey, why the heck can't I connect to this wallet? What's this issue? Mr. Man pulls up his freaking phone, does a quick video solving the problem, and then boom, our members are continuously rolling the ball. Oh, thanks, Mr. Man, problem solved, right? You're part of a community that's learning and growing this information together. What wallets, what DEXs connect to each other, what chains operate for which DEXs, all these things that you need to learn, that watching a YouTube video and reading a document and not having somebody hands-on to show you can be difficult. Trust me. And if you don't know what you're doing in the DeFi space, you think sending crypto to cold storage or to a centralized exchange or to a broker is heart pounding. Well, imagine when you have a $20,000 DeFi portfolio and you're sending that liquidity, $20,000 from a centralized exchange to a DEX, to a hot wallet, and then swapping those assets and sending them back. All that whole entire process, nobody's showing you all that on Salsa Swap. Nobody's showing you all that on these DEXs and these platforms. And so that's why we decided to create Wealth 28 Club, to show you how we are doing it, so you can soak up that information and decide what to do with it.
Yeah, and like what Cypress said, like, don't take what I said as financial advice. Like, and keep in mind, I have like $300 or $400 deployed on this Dogstar DEX, so I'm still testing it. But the way I look at this is like, eventually I'll probably deploy a little bit more, right? And the reason why is because I'm a firm believer in XStar, Aqua, and Fred, and I want to create a drip into my wallet of building up those bags to where I don't have to take my hard-earned money and continue to buy those bags, right? But I'll deploy, 10-20% of my bag to this DEX so it can work for me. You know what I mean? That's not financial advice. That's just an idea for y'all to kind of, create your own ideas, create your own business. Like, everyone's business, everyone's needs are going to be different depending on your bills and if you have a family or whatever. You know what I mean? But the beautiful part about DeFi is that you can get creative with your own wants and needs. It's like having a job and you get to create your own schedule. You get to, you know what I mean? You get to decide what you want to do. Like, that's how beautiful DeFi is. So,
Cypress, I got to jump off this call, my man.
All right, bro. Hey, Mr. Man, thank you guys so much. Appreciate you, bro. We'll talk soon, Mr. Man. I'll call you when we get off this call, bro.
All right, cool. Have a good one, you guys. Appreciate this.
Later, Mr. Man.
So this is from April 25th, 2024, which wasn't that long ago. Why the public and not private blockchain truly enables Web3 and decentralized finance. This is from Franklin Templeton. So think about it. These are people that you don't even interact with. So this is for their clients, and their clients are reading this, being introduced to decentralized finance, and they have a whole report about it, and they're telling you about all this stuff of how you should get in, what's the risk, and why it's a big deal, and how is the new system. Templeton, guys, this is not some small institution. So, like, really, really pay attention to what these people are telling you and, like, what is really happening in the actual digital transformation of the world, because this is a very, very big deal. If you miss the boat, you miss the boat.
So many people are going to miss the boat, bro. I feel so bad. Like, I said this in a earlier statement on this call. I haven't put my own money into crypto, bro, in almost a year. And what allows the mindset that I have right now is almost entirely risk-free. Like, I know the initial amount of capital that I implemented into this space, I'm holding on to mentally, but any money after that, I'm just like, F it. I don't care because it's the market's money. Like,
Yep.
and it doesn't matter to what degree of capital you have, or what size, anybody can take that mindset and that approach. If you have $100 and then on that $100 you can find a liquidity pool that's a decent liquidity pool with blue chip pairs, which totally exist, that's offering you 200% plus APR. You know, yes, there's some risks involved, like impermanent loss and risk of a bug smart contract and whatnot. But again, remember, your initial investment of $100 is your willing in risk, right? You're willing to lose that $100. But then you're taking that money. This is what I've done. Again, this isn't financial advice. I'm taking the capital, the money that I'm earning from that liquidity pool, and just putting that back onto my initial deposit. And so the way that I see it is, the only risk that I'm acquiring in the market is that $100 initial dollars, if that was my starting capital, because after that, all the money that I'm putting into this market is not what I'm making from my paychecks or my other passive income sources or my businesses outside of crypto. It's the market's. It's, you get what am I making sense?
No, you're making sense. And let me finish it for you. Like, you're basically, you started with that certain amount. You have your other sources of income coming in that you're living off of, while this one is building up. And once it gets to a certain point, now that's going to be an additional stream of income for you, right?
Exactly.
And it's basically risk-free if it went away, because you've quadrupled the money in that portfolio through the power of DeFi, of OPM, other people's money.
Yep. And it's simple. You can, like, let's just say that you had $100. You put $100 in. Let's say you made $200. You take your $100 out. Now, for $100 in, that's not your money that you just made, and you're using that money to make more money.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy? I just mentioned to you guys, I had that guy up from Wisdom Tree. And so over my trading and investing career, I said to you guys that I started listening to millionaires and billionaires. And so when I see a video that was put out a day ago, and at the time I watched it only had 12 views, and this $100 billion of assets under management CEO comes on and says the same exact thing that I built my strategy around, it literally just confirms what I'm doing in the market. And then it feels good. It feels good. It's like, dang, this guy just said this to this audience, and I've been doing this the whole time.
Yeah. Bro, it's crazy. The dynamic is crazy. Like, when you're watching these interviews and you're like, bro, I'm ready there. Let's go. It gets me even more excited.
You know?
Hell
yeah, man.
It's clutch.
That's why I like when people they cry on red days, and I'm like, bro, it's bargain day. What are you doing? Let's go.
It's because everyone's in that huddle mindset. Like, you know, I even care less, even more now. Like granted, I check my portfolios every single day, right? Like, one of the very first things I do. But like, I don't nearly care as much now. I only look to just see where the market's at, see if I woke up to something crazy, or I just want to know where we're at. But before, I'd be like, kind of like, oh shit, like, is something gonna happen? Like, you're getting antsy. People get antsy when they're hodling, man. Like, straight up, you get antsy.
We were just talking about this offline, where we were saying, I said, and then you agreed with me, bro, we don't care if we're in a bull market or not. I don't care if the market's bearish, right? I could care less. I could care less if the bull market took another 3, 4, 5 years, because it doesn't matter. Sideways, bull market, bear market, through DeFi, I know I'm going to constantly scale, bro. And that alleviation of stress is so freaking advanced. It creates such a level of an advantage that other people don't have, because it detaches my emotional side from my long-term bags. Like, I don't care if XRP tomorrow shot down to 17 cents. Could you imagine how many people would freaking, oh my God.
Oh, I'm buying. Let's go. I'm buying.
I would buy so much more.
Hey, dude, you know, I have to talk about, you know, shout out to a student club member. His name is Brian. This law enforcement, this guy's a cop. This guy got into DeFi and is now saying that he's going to be able to retire as a cop. He's going to be able to leave here soon. Nice. He's creating a whole plan around DeFi. He thanked me in my DMs in the Discord. Like, man, shout out to Brian. Huge round of applause to Brian, man, for taking that risk. And look, he's going to be able to walk away. You know, we didn't talk about like why he wants to walk away from being a cop, but I mean, I can only imagine. Maybe it's, you know, he's over it right now. I mean, who really wants to be a cop at the end of the day? Think about it. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these jobs are just jobs, and they're there for us to get in that role and then take advantage of the salary that's coming in. But like, how many people are really truly happy? Like, if you're a nurse and you change people's diapers and shit, like, you really happy doing that shit? Like, you're waking up every day motivated to go to the hospital and change someone's diaper? For reals? You really like that shit? You know what I'm saying?
And that's exactly why I feel like with a lot of these crypto investors is like, they're gonna get shaken out. And what I mean by shaken out, I mean like you're gonna shake yourself out, meaning that you don't have a portfolio, you don't have a plan set, and then the price is gonna go up. And what are you gonna do? You're gonna sell all your stuff, and then the price might keep going up or keep going down, and you're gonna be like, oh, I'm already out.
And most people will probably make $50,000-$100,000 in the bull run, and then they're gonna blow that $50,000 to $100,000, not understanding that like $50,000 to $100,000 they could have deployed into DeFi, and they could have been making fucking hundreds of thousands, if not millions.
People don't understand. People don't understand compound interest. They don't understand that a lot of people who make money they made money off their own money, and that's what money is. That's how money works. That's why people, if you look at a traditional system and how people say they take advantage of debt, well, what do you think they're doing? Right? They take advantage of debt and they use that debt to make more money, and that money becomes more money, and that's why people take out credit lines. If you look how wealthy people live, wealthy people don't spend their money. They have a credit line that they spend because you can't tax credit, and at the end of the day, they pay that money with the corporation that they had and the profits, and they just put it back in.
Write it off in taxes, bro.
None of those people. You can raise taxes all you want. They're not going to pay taxes because they have tax deductions.
Yeah. Right now, ever since I became an entrepreneur, when I learned that, I actually started spending more on my business because you can write it off in your taxes. Yep. Like, for example, if I bought a freaking supercomputer, a laptop that's like a super laptop, it's like the freaking top of the line laptop. And I didn't feel two ways about it because I'm just going to write it off in my taxes.
Exactly.
And I realized the power of that. This computer that I just bought, because I make the vast majority of my money through trading and investing and entrepreneurship. My other businesses are all online.
Yeah.
This $4,000 computer is going to generate me hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's the mindset. That's the mindset shift that you have to have. Most people will be like, oh, I don't want to buy a $4,000 computer because I don't have, whatever their excuse is by any means. And again, I know some people's circumstances, obviously, of course, you can't right now go out and buy a $4,000 computer. But the question comes down to, if you had that $4,000 to push yourself further and give yourself an edge in the market or in your career and expand and grow your business, would you spend that money? Most people would not. Most people have this idea that they need to grip onto wealth. They don't understand the money. They don't understand that in order to make more money, it requires you to spend money. It requires you to reallocate your capital into things that are going to generate you fees.
This is facts, dude. Like, every business that you see, whether it be a mom and pop or a franchise, they took a risk. They deployed their hard-earned capital into that business idea. You know what I mean? Like, everything has a risk. It doesn't matter if it's a business idea or DeFi or buying a piece of real estate, right? Like, everything has risk, but it's all about mitigating those risks and not walking in fear. Stop walking in fear. Like, we're here to take chances. Like, if you're not going to take chances on yourself, then you're going to go show up to some corporation where they're taking chances on themselves using and leveraging your energy, period.
Yeah.
Dang, that's a fact, bro. Quote
that's
that. Put that on a, as a matter of fact, I want that on my desk.
I want it on my desk.
I just came up with that right now. I swear to God, I just came up with that right now.
I want it on my desk.
Man,
good.
I talk about this all the time, the networks and the possibilities of just meeting people. It's so crazy, myself and Mr. Aquaman. And what's even crazier is that I feel like the COVID-19 situation happened where we are all locked inside and became more digitally native and comfortable with digital technologies and FaceTime and Zoom calls and all these and these like podcast ideas, right? Like, that was all really expanded in 2019 and 2020 when we were locked inside. And like this opportunity that we have with this small amount of individuals right now, 520 million pioneers, collectively speaking, give or take, those numbers fluctuate, of active participants in this ecosystem, the fact that I can connect with a like-minded individual like Mr. Aquaman or Mr. Man or Nerdy and have these intellectual conversations makes my investing and trading career so much easier and allows my goals to become that much more attainable because I have other like-minded individuals giving me motivation and bouncing ideas and things off, which just motivates me to push myself further. Like becoming a six-figure entrepreneur, when I achieved that goal 3 years ago, it was cool. But then once I achieved it, I was like, okay, what next?
What's next?
And that allowed me to network and scale and build these friendships and partnerships behind the scenes. And it's just, if you're not taking advantage of that because you're an introvert, you're scared, you're timid, you're fearful, like Mr. Aquaman was saying, you can't be that way if you actually want to be successful. Or you're just going to download it. And you mean to tell me, for real, okay? You mean to tell me you think that this is a strategy? You're downloading an application. And if this relates to you right now, again, I'm not calling you ignorant. I'm not saying that you're not going to make it. It's just compared up against another person that is hungry, probably the odds are not in your favor. If you're just the person that downloaded an application, is dollar cost averaging in, putting into your cold storage and doing nothing else, compared to an individual that dollar cost averages in, builds a separate portfolio and learns how to make money in the now and uses that money to build a bigger portfolio, they're going to outpace you tenfold. I'm telling you right now, they are.
Yeah,
tenfold. And we are already doing it now. So
yeah, in this world, there's only two type of people. There's buyers and there's sellers. That's all. That's all there is. In a capitalist society, that's all it is. Either you consume or you're making the business. You're either selling the product or you're buying the product. That's all it is, right? You have an opportunity to just step back and be like, hey, I want to be part of the money flow, and I can make money on my money because you're spending money.
Yeah, you ever see that movie Baby Boy? You ever see that movie Baby Boy?
Yeah.
He said we living around buyers and sellers. You're either a buyer or a seller, baby boy.
And that's true. That's fact. That's a fact of life, right? So if you see
good.
If you see all these TikTok influencers or Instagram influencers, oh, look at me in this private jet. Look at all of that is rented. It's all rented to create a fake false image to get you to follow them. But that's all the gratitude that they get is being followed. Is just it.
You're absolutely 110% right. 110% right. I was talking to Mr. Aquaman about this offline. Is that, imagine you have two people. Well, first right off the bat, I think that those types of influencers, the individuals that are flashing fancy things and profits all the time and this and that, that's a complete red flag. That's why here at CYPRX we don't do that stuff. You know, we don't talk about the cars that we drive or the money that we make or this and that. If we wanted to go out, me and Mr. Aquaman, and go rent the Lamborghini for the month and broadcast that to people, like that was real, the end goal. You know how much money we can make in the form of people that would manipulate and bring on board just because we're in a Lamborghini. You're absolutely right. That's not what we're here for. We're here to, like I said, I'm not here to freaking convince anybody. I could care less. If you want the education, it's there.
Exactly.
It's there, and it'll fast track you hardcore because you're going to see the mistakes I made. You're going to see the path I took. You're going to see my strategy and my portfolio and base ideas off of that. And you're going to see the same with Mr. Man and the same with Mr. Aquaman. It's a fast track lane to education. Just like college, right? It's in the traditional realm of things, it's a fast track lane to becoming a doctor. You can't just go and perform brain surgery without going to school for it, or reading a book about it. You're going to fumble the ball and F up somebody's brain. You have to go. you have to. But the crazy part is people think in investing and trading, that's what they're going to accomplish. They think that just because they watched a YouTube video and they know how to buy crypto, that they're going to become millionaires. That is not true. You would not make it. I'm telling you right now, you will freaking not. Anyways, there's two types of people. Let's imagine this right now, okay? And let's just project it to the XRP community members. There's two types of people. They both start with $1,000. One of them just buys XRP $1,000 and puts it on a cold storage wallet and is hoping for $1,000 price prediction one day. God changed my life. Oh my God. I watched XRP freaking influencer and they told me 1,000, but whatever. It's new financial system, digital gold, right? Okay. You guys know my story. Then you have an individual that buys $1,000 worth of XRP. Okay. And they take that $1,000 of XRP and split it into $500 worth of MAG and $500 worth of XRP. And they take that and they go put it into a liquidity pool on the magnetic DEX. Over the next year, okay, this is obviously, of course, assuming things like magnetic DEX, which is the #1 XRPL DEX right now, with the #5 digital asset on the XRPL worth $640 plus, getting rug pulled, which I personally don't see happening. But again, it's a risk. So it's something you have to consider. But let's imagine, again, the two people. The second person goes and provides liquidity on the XRPL DEX with that $1,000 in a year. And let's imagine that person that's earning yield on their $1,000 that they deposit into the liquidity pool is constantly using that to buy XRP. The person at the end of the year that provided liquidity on the XRPL DEX and used that capital that they were making to buy XRP and put it into their long-term bags is going to have so much more XRP at the end of the year than the person that just bought $1,000 of XRP.
Facts.
And if you don't understand that scalability, you can do that in any asset right now in the DeFi ecosystem. It's not just XRP. I use that as an example. Okay. So what I'm trying to project here is so many people are so timid and scared when in reality, it would actually fast track you to build bigger positions. Again, if you do it strategically, you assess your risk properly, you're not just making emotional and irrational based decisions because of high APRs. You're actually building a strategy around it. You're understanding the DEX in and out. You're understanding and looking at the audits. You're mitigating your risk, right? There's things that, again, you have to do, the elbow grease. But the second individual, I can almost 110% guarantee you, will be more successful than the first one. Just like in business, you have two entrepreneurs. One takes advantage of opportunities, goes to business meetings, networks, promotes their product, actually has a product that provides value. They're going to scale so much more to somebody than somebody that doesn't have those things. Bottom line.
Facts.
So,
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
all right,
man.
gentlemen. I'm gonna head out. Thank you for having me.
Cool. Yeah, I'm done. That was my last spiel. But yeah, anyways, Nerdy, thanks, man. I appreciate you, Mr. Aquaman. It's always a blessing, brother.
Yeah, man, it's always a blessing. I appreciate everyone who tapped in today. I hope we penetrated some hearts and really gave some understanding to some people. But you know, this Club 28, it's an amazing club to be a part of because DeFi is such a learning curve. Just keep in mind, there's nobody to call to help you. There's nobody to call to help you, but being connected to a network of people who are also exploring DeFi and learning DeFi and have maybe awareness that you don't, well, you can lean on communities like that. So that's another reason why Club 28 is a one-of-a-kind club, because you can come in, learn DeFi, and then now you have a network of people that you get to lean on and learn from. You know what I mean? So, you know, don't sleep on this opportunity. Everyone here, don't think because you use the word DeFi or you've used the word impermanent loss that you really even have an understanding of it. Like after this call, really ask yourself if you really have an understanding of it. Like if you went to dinner this weekend and, you know, your family member across the table said, "Hey, Billy, tell me about impermanent loss." If you can't really speak to it 100%, then you don't understand it. And I encourage you to understand it, because once you understand it, you're going to unlock some things in crypto that are going to blow your mind, people. So
yeah,
that's all I got.
Yeah, I really do like the fact that you mentioned the community. The camaraderie is great. I really do like the constant flow of conversation. The fact that people are asking questions is really great to see. And they're not just jumping into these things, these projects. And the way that we've, you know, planned for Wealth 28 and the structure that we've created, it allows to really get you to step back. And just like how we do research in crypto, right? All these XRP maxis and enthusiasts, they understand this new financial system and they understand the mentality of the idea that XRP could possibly play a role in this new financial system. Where it's the same with DeFi. You have to do due diligence. You have to open up documents on these DEXs, read the white paper, understand the utility behind the DEX and the features that it offers and who created the DEX and who's the founders and the devs behind it and whatnot. Like there's an actual process behind that. And if you don't know how to commit yourself to that process, again, falling back on a community that does, it's very helpful because you can ask questions. Hey, I found this DEX and I'm looking to get involved. Has anybody tested this out before? Hey, yeah, I did. And it turned out it's a red flag. Don't get involved. Or yeah, it's freaking great. We ran it. We ran tests. We look at the docs. It looks cool. You know, maybe it's just the camaraderie. It's the constant flow and building off of each other. And again, you know, like-minded individuals, it's really cool. 520 million active participants the last time I looked at it in this crypto space. And we're building a community of individuals like-minded that are even a smaller percentage of people in the crypto niche, now in the DeFi space. Okay. Don't miss out, because there are going to be limited spots. We're not going to just sit here and have an unlimited amount of individuals come into the Wealth 28 Club. Eventually, we are going to cut access. To what degree and when those numbers are going to be hit, we're not sure yet, but it's not going to be available for forever. So, tap in with us. Visit CYPRXtrading.com. We'd love to have you on the team. It's less than a freaking $1 a day. We've got members in the course in the DeFi section already telling us that they've already made back their monthly subscription. We're also going to do each month 2 monthly member giveaways. So we're going to be giving away $56, right? That's 28 plus 28, 56, right? We're going to be giving away $56 to 2 monthly subscribers to pay for their membership. And I'm going to do that through DeFi, right? I'm going to do that through the income that I'm earning through the market, just to show the members that it is real. At the end of the day, again, there is risk involved, and we've all assessed that risk, but take it upon yourself to push yourself and your education further. Many blessings to you guys. Thank you all for tuning in. We really do appreciate the love and the support. None of this is financial advice. Again, always do your due diligence. Mr. Aquaman could talk about a DEX or a pair that they're involved in, or a digital asset that they're holding. Don't just be like, oh, they said it, so I'm going to go buy it. No, that's the dumbest thing ever. Go and formulate your own belief system around it, and do your due diligence and assess your own scenario and risk properly, and make a decision based off of your own accord. Again, I'm here to show you openly my portfolio on the inside of CYPRX, show you the positions and the pools that I'm in, and show you what DEXs I like and what wallets I like and what yield I'm earning. And then again, hopefully that enlightens you to see the possibility and go do further research, right? So many blessings. I'll see you guys in the next video. Mr. Aquaman, peace, brother.
Much love, everyone.